What is going on YouTube? What's shaking? Oh, sorry about that. quick clap of the desk there. Anyhow, whoa, crazy. What's going on, Mr. Unknown? Good to see you. Big day here. See if we can hold this. See if we can keep it alive. Keep it alive. Let's see. All right, so what do we got going on here? Right now we are trading above yesterday's value area, always a good sign. The danger is if we come into it, it could spell disaster for this little rally here. Now we do have a good support zone here. All right, you see this high volume node. We've got a big fair value gap in here now. So let's see if this can hold us up. Even if we do come in here, you know, this is going to be a bit of a tricky bit here. All right, so if anybody's looking for that value area setup, be aware of that. All right, could get tangled up there and then rope a few people in and go for it. But for now, it looks pretty decent. On the 1 hour chart, let me just hide these volume profiles here. No, thank you. All right, so we're back above the 50. Took everything else, and now we've come back down. So just kind of playing around here with the EMAs right now. Not a great look that we have come all the way below them, but if we look at the stock, it's given us some pretty good news here for more room to the upside. Let's take a quick peek here at the good old RSI. All right, so we got some no divs and we got no divs. So not too much telling us here, but on the 1 hour chart, we do have room to go both ways here. We've come up off the top and we're pretty much holding the midline here. So could really go either way. I'd like to see us get above the smooth average line here on the RSI and start to whittle our way up here. All right, so pretty casual and pretty normal for after a big bounce like this. We come up and at least we haven't put in any hidden divs at this high. All right, so that's a very good sign. Some would argue that this is a div, but I would argue that it isn't. This is really the sort of high we're going to be more this is the high we're going to be more focused on. All right, this one not so much, but it is there. All right, it is there, so you can't deny it, so be careful. Hello, Crypto Yark. I thought it's SP, not FBG, because price wasn't there this day. Yeah, it's both of them. All right, so it's even more powerful. All right, if it was there, but if you look back here, all right, on here's your Monday level. So this here has been hit already. All right. Okay. So in this zone here, it's just a fair value gap. And then just above here, you're looking at a very small row of single prints here. All right. But price did trade through it right off of the open. Okay. So in this actual box, it's a fair value gap. Right. So we've really got to, you know, we don't have to hold this. We can come back down and test this zone down here, right? Unfortunately, our 96 level got just absolutely ran through. Not what you want to see. But let's just kind of do this for doing its sake. We're just going to try to remove some of our emotional damage that we got from all of these big moves, because that is the biggest killer, is people refuse to accept that we're just trading in a range. That's all this is. It doesn't matter what happens as long as we stay in this range. All right, so you can really color this on in many different ways. All right, you can pull a bottom like that. Personally, I would rather go to the line chart. Oh. right? You've got this big hit here. You've got this big hit here, right? Something like so. That's going to be your bottom, and then the top is just that. You can even refine this a little bit up here and just take this last hour. It'll be a little bit smaller, right? But it will work. Let's just move this back. All right, pull it back onto a candle chart, and you see it still holds quite nicely. I'll bring it back down to the line chart, and let's just look for spots around the 25 mark here. You can see this zone has given some pretty decent reactions here. It is quite large. So maybe something like so. And something like so. Let's take it back to the candles. All right, so looks pretty decent. You can widen this one up a little bit here. That's around right around your equilibrium. So you shouldn't, that's also a very important zone, obviously. Just pull a quick fib and get just a 0.5 template on there, all right? So there you go. There is our equilibrium zone. Okay, so this is the place that you don't really want to be trading. You want to be looking for longs down here. You want to be looking for shorts over here. And that's really it. All right, so pretty calm, pretty cool, pretty collected. Right now we're right at the middle point. So let's see if we can keep pushing up here. All right, might get a little retrace and then go, or all hell breaks loose and the bears take over. But it's real important to just stay calm. You know, it's stormy weather. You know, just hunker down, as they say. Hunker down, light a fire, grab a blanket, chill out. Okay, today's daily candles inside bar at the moment, how to trade it. All right, we'll take a peek at that. From one side, we can meet previous day's value area high. 2 candles, 30 minutes, which will means we will go down. But other way, we can meet previous day's highs. Yeah. Let's get back down here. Okay, so when you're trading in an inside bar day, okay, so let me just make sure I'm reading this right here. We can meet previous day's value high, but the other way we can meet previous day's highs. Yes, sir. That is exactly right. All right, so that's what we're looking at. Previous day's high here and previous day's value area low there, right? Now, when you're playing these relatively balanced days, all right, right now it's not looking overly balanced. Most of our volume is here on the downside of the day. But when you're playing an inside bar, you want to kind of treat it as a bit of a balanced day for the most part. So the most important things here are going to be our high of day. Oh, I really got to get my templates up here. All right, so your high day and your low of day, those are going to be really the most important places that we can look for a trade. All right, so this low of day ties in real nice to this value area high support zone here. Not much of volume there, but there was a previous day's volume node, not a previous day's, but Sunday. And we do have this fair value gap here that can hopefully hold us up if price comes down to test this. All right. These are still single prints here. Okay. So going to be looking for a retest of the low of day. And then if price comes up to this zone here, we've come down, sold off quite heavily from it. So we might come up here, sweep that, and then come back down. And once again, play into yesterday's high volume node that gave us this great rejection right off the Asia Open. I love that Bitcoin is ranging, so easy to trade, just short the top and long the bottom. Yeah, it really is that simple. But people have a tendency to get real emotional when, when it's coming up here, people want to long it. And when it's coming down here, everybody thinks that it's the end of the world and they look to short it. But it's really the other way around. Where BTC needs to hold and or close in order to continue the bullish. So for today, what it needs to do is just stay above this value area high, all right, if it's going to close relatively bullish. And then if it does come into it, we've got this range here of support. All right, so rejected as resistance, broke it. So we might come down and test this as support. So even if you do get that value area set up, be careful with this. And then we've got our value, our high volume node from the point of control. And then we've got this massive row of single prints here. All right, so all of this should hold. And here's our range low, right? So remember, the market likes to test things 2 times. So many times when we come down, we hit that range low, we came back up, we retested it, and then we continued on our merry way. But it might want to test that again. Just make sure, all right? Make sure the bulls are going to hold it. Depends how motivated the bears are, really. Okay, so as far as today goes, what you're going to be looking for is just kind of trading this daily range, right? High of day to low of day. That's what you would want. Now you can bring her down to the lower time frame and get a little more specific about things. All right, so high and low, you've got your previous day's high right here. Previous day's low is way low. I don't think we test that today, but you really never know because we haven't taken the previous day's high yet. So really could go either way. But if you want to just start looking at this with some, more nitpicky sort of eyes, start pulling some fibs, see what we can find here, if anything. All right, so we've had this nice move down. We've rejected off the 382, never a good sign. Means that we might be coming after this low, all right? That would be the first clue. 382 holds. Usually you're going to quickly come down and take the low of this fib range. If New York decides to go up, that golden pocket's actually looking really good. Support, broke, resistance, and down. So that's a cute little zone right there. 0.5 also looks reasonable, but it's all about this for now. Looks like it should take the low. All right, so then how do you trade this? I mean, it depends what you want to do. If you want to trade the big 3 on it, I mean, it's I know I always talk about it, but it's just such a bloody easy thing to trade that it's quite, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. I've told you guys about this many times. Giving you some great scalps. This one not so far, but looks like we're breaking to the downside. Wait for it to come back up and retest it and look to trade it down. Now, if you are going to trade it down, remember this low of day is our target right now. That's looking like it's what it's going to go for and grab. All right. So if you want to, day trade it and scalp it, then just zoom in and look for it. And remember, the most important thing when you're day trading and scalping is the low of day and the high of day, current, and then yesterday's levels. All right. And if you want to get into more of a let me get rid of this. More into a longer term trade, then we're just going to think about what's going on here. All right, so where would be an ideal place to catch a pullback on this? All right, once again, oops. Just take a step back, relax a little bit. Nice golden pocket here with fair value gap right at the bottom of it in a 4-hour support resistance zone. All right, so if price was to come back down there, that'd be a great zone to be looking for a potential trade. You have to be careful because that value area low is down here. So in case that value area setup does play out, you might be looking for a 786 hit or an 886 hit in that case, right? But if you're watching for a reaction, get in, get your profit quick, and then move out. The 0.5 also looks pretty decent. Again, another fair value gap that would just get filled in here. Okay, in that zone that we were talking about. So quick wick through and then maybe come back up. And then this is very interesting here. We've already held on that 382. Now we're rejecting off the 236. Maybe go down and test that one more time. Retest that low of day and then turn it back around and shoot for the skies. It's not easy. Market makers will squeeze out of this range because all stops are above or below this range. That doesn't really matter. I mean, it's still just a range, right? So if you're, if you're looking for levels, you've got your levels, right? Like I really wanted that 96 level to hold. I really had been waiting for that for quite a bit. And it didn't work out, but it came down and hit this. I've been saying that this is a range for a while now. So that's what it is, right? So when you're trading these ranges, you have to keep a couple things in mind. All right. So for example, when we came down and hit into the low again, we had this wick that everybody had been talking about for a long time. All right. And finally we swept it. So it's gone. So with this one move down, we have wiped out this low and come and grab that liquidity, right? Down here, we didn't grab this wick yet. And maybe we leave it, who knows? But that's really the only thing you have to think about is sort of liquidity. So it's not overly difficult. You can't be thinking about market maker squeeze, right? Out of this range, because when you're in a range, what's happening is that the market makers are just positioning themselves, right? So that's really all it is, just positioning. Okay, so as price is moving down, they're getting their positions ready. As price is moving up, they're just getting as much position as they can in this range to then break out of the zone, either to the top or to the bottom, right? Who knows? So the key here is liquidity. It's not them squeezing. It's liquidity that they're after. So for example, we've come up here now, we take out these equal highs and we turn around, right? There was some liquidity there. It's now gone. They leave this high. They've left this high. So it's just going to keep moving up and down, grabbing liquidity along the way inside of a range. So when it gets to the bottom of the range, you're looking for longs. And when it gets to the top, you're looking for shorts. Now, when the range starts to play out, like this is already starting to get a bit old here, right? But at this point, either one of these can fail, especially the lows, because the lows have really been hit quite a bit. This high has really been put in with two big moves, and then you could call these little hits to them, but not much happening there. So the problem with trading ranges is that at the end, you're always going to lose one trade, right? But if you were to take a long here, and then once price comes up to this side of the range, you still have some of your trade running, and you open your short and it goes against you, you get stopped out on the short, and then that long that you had some position still left open just keeps going, right? So it's really there's a tendency to try to overcomplicate things in this, right? And the more concepts you kind of start thinking about, the less effective you're going to be. All right. For example, we can talk about this, the challenge here. I think you were in the, yeah, you were in there, Crypto Yark, in the quick live I did, right? But okay, so the leap challenge on TradingView right now. I'm up 56 grand. This is my second day trading. That's about 22% or so. If I come into this zone here, this is where I entered a trade, was right here. That was on my normal account. And then I entered a trade here on this account today. So if I'm thinking too hard about squeezes and stuff, and I start getting into this strange sort of mind melting zone where I start overcomplicating things and think about what's going on here, I might miss obvious sort of trades, right? And then stop trusting a system, right? Because if you're trading a system, then that's what you've got to trade, right? So I got in here just based on my love of the stock, really, and wrote it up to this. This was my take profit zone, which is a extension golden pocket. Okay, and then I shorted it on this account, right? So I could have not taken either one of these trades for complicated reasons, right? I could have started mind messing myself here, but I took them both on very simple principles. One was, I explained this, but so in terms of the big three, there's nothing to trade here because our EMAs are just flat. It's not looking good, right? Price then puts in this little head, neck, and shoulder here, comes down, it runs for its profit, so it hits its target, and then we get this nice bounce off a good signal off the stock. No bullish engulfing candle though, so I couldn't take it. And then price comes back and puts in another one, gives us a little bit of a, not a little bit, but a nice little divergence there. And then I get a bullish candle, which really does nothing. I'm not a fan of this bullish candle either, but I like trading the stock a lot. So this is the sort of stuff that makes me get into it, all right? And you can see the same thing happens here. You put in that high, it comes back down, comes back up, puts in another one, you put in your div, and it eventually gives you a pretty nice trade. I didn't take that one. I'm not a huge fan of this because the D line really just kind of comes into the neutral zone. I'd much rather see like this obvious W here. But either one would have worked out fine. And once I saw the head, neck, and shoulders, I thought to myself, oh, that would have been all right. But it wasn't something that I would trade because I didn't see that because it hadn't happened yet. And then here, I could mind screw myself into saying that this is a bad trade too, because here's our London opening range. We've broke above it. Price hits into the golden pocket. I could say I don't want to take that trade because we're above it, but this is a great little zone here. And as soon as this candle pushes back, that's where I get in, and my stop loss is tiny. So, just think about the, like how you want to trade, what kind of system you want to trade, and then just execute it. And remember, you're going to lose trades, and that's why you need good risk management, right? So for example, here, if we're trading the big three, we lose the three, we get a big push away from them. You start getting all your crosses here. And then by the time we come back into it, all right, you get your first signal right there. There's an entry, you take it. Doesn't give you a huge trade, but it's a great trade anyways. All right, a quick 10 points or so. And then price comes back and gives you the exact same signal again. You hop on in, and it does give you a great move. All right, then comes back up, hits in, gives you a signal that is not as great as normal, but I would take this every day because of the shaved bottom. All right, price pushes away. Now, if I keep trading this without looking for any clues, then eventually I'm going to take a loss, right? And that's all there is to it. Let's say I hit into a zone here that I'm not looking at because I'm just trading this. I'm gonna overlook some zones. I'm gonna overlook things, and that's just the way strategies are, right? You can't see everything all the time, constantly, especially if you're trading a specific strategy. So then price starts to move back up. It starts giving you signals here. All right, this is a cute little candle here. All right, but kind of small. So I wouldn't be too interested in trading that yet. You basically get a doji, and then this is pretty much as close to a doji as you can get without being. Price then comes up. Now you just start seeing that pinning nature, all right? And that's why I was talking about that head, neck, and shoulders up there. Where was it? Whatever, that I didn't like. It's because this happens quite a bit on the stock, right? So when you see price doesn't give you a clear signal, all right, there's always the danger that the stock can get pinned up here for quite a bit, and you can see how far it moves as it's pinned, right? Then you finally do get a very nice candle right here, but you're still not really getting a great signal here. All right, so now once it's pinned, you're just kind of like chilling out watching it. But the real dangerous part here is that price is coming up, and it's slowly working its way up, and it's getting very close to these highs, right? So you have an order block here that you could be looking to trade off of. But as you're not really getting any great signals, except for, again, this little guy that trades right into the 50, all right, a little bit sketchy. And then price pushes up, and now you've put in a higher high. All right, so you can be looking to scalp this still, but you got to be very careful with it. Very careful, and look to be, getting in on when it really starts to push back away, right? So again, wouldn't be able to take that because your signal candle is too late, but now you start to see that the stock is lower. It's inside the neutral zone, right? So that's a great look. And then finally you get this fantastic engulfing here with price in the neutral zone. Then you have to ask yourself, am I crazy enough to short on the 100 EMA with the 50 EMA right below me? It's pretty crazy. And we've just put in a higher high here. So like, I couldn't take that trade, wouldn't touch it. I would not touch it. And that's only because of a little shift in market structure. That would be really it. And then you break down out of it once again. Even this, I really couldn't short that. But now that this happens and you've got some market structure shift here, could just be a two-legged pullback coming, but it might not be. And then you hit back into this zone, reject, right? You start putting in your real bearish candles. That would be a trade that would be based off of not the big three, but something else, right? So I hope I'm not overcomplicating things by trying to uncomplicate things, but just remember, you're going to lose trades. That's just the way it goes. You can't win every trade. The best traders in the world lose trades. So let's take a quick peek here at this open coming at us. Let's get on the 1 minute and see what New York is gonna do. Yeah, like some of the okay, so I have a friend who trades really just two things he looks at. That's it. Uh, but he really knows what he's looking at. So it's super simple. But he always loses a trade at the end of the little trend that he's following, right? And all he does is watch price action and the VWAP. That's it. And if he's trading about the VWAP and he gets a bullish reversal signal on price action, he's in. And if he's trading below the VWAP, he's looking for bearish price action signals and reversals and in. And that's really it. Super simple, and he's pretty successful. I think one of the big things is the complication comes from a lot of emotion, honestly. Nobody likes to hear that, but it's really true. Just got to put it aside. Take your wins, take your losses, and learn from them all. Do you understand why price stopped dumping at 92K? You mean at 91K? I see many people trade last 5 weeks like buying every dip, but I can't get how they buy exact bottom. Oh, the exact bottom. Well, you don't really buy the exact bottom. There's going to be very few people who hit this exact bottom here. You know, you don't need to hit the exact bottom, but you see this, like just look at it on the 1 minute chart, right? We come in, we hit this, this is our range low, right? You could paint it a little bit lower if you wish, right? It comes down, it hits, and you get this massive engulfing candle. You could get in right there. All right, you don't have to hit the exact low, and then the price comes back down and it does the exact same thing. So you could get in there. All right. So this is about as close as you're going to get, and it's just the range low, right? There's Funky Pants was a OB from January. There was another reason here too. Hold on, I'm looking at the 1 minute on this like an idiot. Okay, so on the 1 hour chart, I know Sos mentioned this yesterday too. Okay, so there's an order block, swept the low of it, and then comes back up. .30-minute, there's an order block, fair value gap, all that stuff, you know. Like you can look and you'll find the exact reason why, not the reason, you'll find the exact technical thing that it pivoted off of. That looks pretty good, that 1 hour order block. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't really be too bothered with that. And like the bigger picture is we're just trading in a range, right? So you could again draw this out a little bit wider if you wish. Oh. Okay, look at that low right there. It just wicks through the range low. Now you're incorporating more of that. I'm not a big fan of getting these ranges too wide. That's why I use the line chart and I don't really incorporate the wicks. But, you know, we've been talking about this for quite a bit. We're in a range. We're just trading in a range. Range low, range high. So when price now comes back up here, you know, I'm not saying that it's going to reject off of this, right? But what I am going to say is you really don't want to be that guy who's convinced Bitcoin's going to $120,000 when you're coming into this zone. And when it's coming down here, you don't want to be that guy who's convinced that we're going to 72. You want to be the guy that says we are trading in a range. Bitcoin is in an obvious range. And when Bitcoin's in a range, it just goes from the high to the low, to the high and the low. And look historically, Bitcoin will stay here for months sometimes. And these are going to be the easiest trades that you can catch if you're awake at 1 in the morning, right? So that's the other killer. And think about what your potentials are, right? Like you're talking about pretty much a 20% range here. It's absolutely huge. So identify and trade. Okay. Let's take a peek here at okay, we've got a potential ascending channel now. Okay, so if price does break above here, we could wick off of that, but this is unconfirmed, right? It's only 3 touches so far, 2 to the up, 1 to the low, but you can look back here and think about that as SOS has pointed this out, all right? So just kind of keep all these things in mind, right? Now, if we come up here, look at this liquidity that's resting here, right? It's going to be spectacular to not take this high. We don't need this high. All we need to do is come up here, clean all these guys out. You're going to get a bunch of wackos who start saying dumb stuff again about 120, 115, right? Let's see here. I see many people did it. Yes, not exact, but close to. So 91K bottom was hit from OB from January. Says Funky Pants, thank you. Best Chicken just deleted his message. That's a shame, Best Chicken. Yes, it's more likely at 10K that we fall down again to 92 than 120 because we are in range that not too many people see when we are at 10K. Yeah, I would, you know, I'm pretty humble when I look at the market. So, because it's just humbled me so many times. It's kind of like that 96 zone. I was really thinking we would bounce off it. I did take a couple trades off it, 4 to be exact. 2 of them broke even. 2 of them, one of them hit take profit 1, one of them hit take profit 2. And then I went to sleep and we hit the bottom at the range low, right? But yeah, I would be like that. This is such a great place to be looking for a sweep here. You've got 1, 2, 3 highs, right? So we might come up and even just sweep the first 2 highs here and then turn back around. Not necessarily go all the way down, but maybe hit off of some structure that's been created, maybe play out a 80% setup, something, right? Something will happen in here. So yeah, just keep your cool about you, man. Keep your cool about you. Everything's going to be fine. And try to really relax. Like there's 101 ways that you can describe how movement happens in the market, right? It just has to make sense to you. That's all it really needs to do. So you don't have to explain it. You don't have to understand it fully. You just have to be able to explain it to yourself. And it has to make sense to you. I hope that makes sense. I know it's a bit of a weird concept, but there goes New York now making a move for the highs. Let me just quickly check this out. Look at that. Huh. Making it tough on me. All right. So again, looks like we are pushing to the upside here real quick. So let's just think about this. Obviously, London highs are gone. We've already taken them out and New York continues to push. So they could be coming up for the high of day here. And they could also be putting in a little M formation on the 1 minute chart here, come back down to retest the opening range. Instead of showing off on internet, I'm not sure what you're saying, Best Chicken. You deleted your message. Yeah, not sure what you're talking about, Best Chicken. Not really sure how I'm showing off either. If you're talking about me, but yes. Okay, agrees with what I said. Don't predict, but watch and react. Yeah. Yeah, it's really the best thing, right? And that's we were trading that 96 hit live in the Discord. So yeah, the zone that I had painted out, traded it live, and first and foremost, horrible that it hit on a Sunday. Really don't like trading on Sundays. Hate trading on Sundays actually, except meme coins. I'll trade meme coins, but that's because the moves are generally pretty good. But the volume was horrible. It hit in, you know, and you're watching for a reaction, and everybody who saw me saw that I was just waiting for reactions. And then once I would see something that I kind of liked, I would hop in. Got stopped out every time. All right, the 4 trades, they all got stopped out. And one of them, again, I took TP1 and TP2, and everything else kind of, they got far away from me that I could push my stop into break even, because it looked horrible. The volume was horrible. Even when you saw good price action, the volume was horrible, right? So you just kind of, oh, I was about to say, don't believe too much when people say they bought at the exact bottom and sell. Yeah. Yeah, like, you know, the SOS is pretty on the ball with snipers. But then like I've said, I don't look for sniper entries, right? I really don't care unless it's on the 1 minute chart and there's multiple things right there, right on top of each other. Then I'm not really looking for the snipe. What I'm looking for is, so, you know, let's say something like this right here. Well, hold on. Let's see if we can find something that actually makes sense. Okay, so you're coming into this zone here, right? This zone you're interested in, you know, it's a support resistance zone, right? You get this reaction off it, but it looks kind of funny. Pinning the bottom, pinning the bottom, pinning the bottom. Starts to show that they're trying to push it down and that it's getting held up, and then price breaks. All right, you've got this nice fair value gap here. You've got a wacky little order block here. All right, price comes up, thumbs up. You get a nice little bearish engulfing candle right there, coming back out of this order block here. All right, so that's it. That for me is a pretty decent entry. All right, my stop loss would have to be somewhere above this high, so it'd be tiny. So that for me is pretty decent. And then if I have this high marked out, that's where I could maybe hop in on a great sniper, because price comes up, reacts off the wick, starts going down, and I hop in there, and that's, you know, 20 bucks maybe. So I could hit that, but let's see here. I'm misspelling. They bought yesterday like 92K, so they saw factors, that price reversal. Not right exactly close to, yeah. For example, I bought 96 before it dumped to 91. Yeah. So let's take a peek. Ooh, I didn't do anything. Okay, so the retest is not that hard. All right, now the problem is these guys are up at 5 in the morning GMT time. Right, so we've got a 0.5 golden pocket down here. All right, if they're saying they got in at 92, at this point in time here, you know, this is a trade that I would definitely be looking to take right here at 92.4. But that's because of this monster bullish engulfing, right? Like I said, with this one, monster bullish engulfing, you're on a support zone. That's very bullish. Hop in there at 93, and then hopefully you wouldn't get stopped out, but you really can't get stopped out here because you're trading the range low. You've got to have your stop below the range low, all right? So I know that this big zone looks like the range low, but there's a wick here that is lower, all right? So you're not getting in, well, I wouldn't be getting in with a ton of margin. And then this one gives you the exact same sort of look. All right, so you could hop in there. But as far as sniping this, I wouldn't do that personally. But I know guys that'll do it. So it's about your entry criteria, right? I bought 96 before it dumped to 91. So did you use a stop loss, I'm hoping, and it didn't trade all the way down to 91? Yeah. And you know your criteria, right? You still, so I know that I was talking a lot about the 96K zone, and in the Discord I talked about it quite a bit. So I hope that your buying criteria was not just me saying 96K. All right, and if it was, you know, like you can take ideas of other people and listen to zones, but you still have to have, you know, your own sort of entry criteria. What makes you take a trade? All right, what do you need to see to say, yeah, this looks good to me, I'm going to go for it? All right, but don't let other people's ideas be responsible for your trade entries. Never good. Never good. All right, so Bitcoin on its way up here. Taking a quick pause. See what New York is doing. When it was 91 to 92, I had deep night and slept. Yeah, me too, man. IDCA if not. But when I get up already, it was 94 or near, so can say that it's luck and recovery. Well, I wouldn't say, you know, if you're just buying on spot, that's fine, right? That's fine. And I wouldn't really say it's, you know, it's luck. Yeah, I guess in a sense it is. But for me, it was 94. Sorry, 96, 97 zone. And then when we lost, this is our obvious next zone, right? And then below here, we've got a little bit of support, and then not much until quite a bit lower. So yeah, I guess that was lucky, but this is our range low, our support low. Has been tapped quite a few times now, so you got to be a bit careful with it the next time she comes around. Even, I mean, every time it comes. Again, watch reaction, right? You're not just buying stuff for the hell of it, or just because you hear somebody online say, you know, 90K. That's our next level. Don't do it. All right, Bitcoin getting boring here. So what I'm going to do, since there's not much happening here, all right, I'll reiterate that, okay? We have to, today, if we want to continue up higher, we want to go up and grab the high of day and then take out yesterday's high. All right, and that will negate the potential of the 80% setup as far as I'm concerned, but not 100% guaranteed, as the value area low is not at the previous day's low, all right? But first trade you're looking for is a sweep of the high and then start to range back in. If we do pop up our 30-minute chart now and look at our volume profile. All right, we're above the value area right now, rejecting off of this little value area node, but hopefully we're going to start filling this zone in here and just create a nice balanced D formation here for the day. Up, down, probably close somewhere around the point of control or so. That would be fantastic. It'd be fantastic because then we're going to be starting to create more history here, more zones for liquidity, and also stabilizing around the 100, 101K zone, which will be great for us. And then you're going to start seeing all of those great crypto influencers talking about 120K again. Oh, mind-boggling. So yeah, looks like it's going to be pretty relaxed for now. But that's what I would watch for. And then again down here, that previous day's value area high, incredibly important, and the low of day trade. All right, so if it comes down, see if you can catch a reversal there. Again, don't just buy it, right? You got to see things. Well, watch for reaction, look for good price action signals, look for maybe some hidden divergences on the RSI or the Trading Academy B indicator, whatever you want to look at. All right. Yeah. So that, I believe, is going to do it, man. It's pretty relaxed. What I'm going to do is go make myself a coffee, and then I'm going to get back to seeing if I can pull off some degen trades here and make a quick 100 grand on this leap challenge. It's unreal how let's take a peek here at just how crazy these guys are here. So there you go. I'm trading in the top 2% of participants, and I'm at a very reasonable 22% for 2 days. Look at this guy, 424% in 2 days. I don't even know how you can get the margin to make this. So these guys are scalping overtime, man. Unbelievable. And 10th place, 196%. So I've got a little whiles to go here. I got to 2x my account today. That's, I got to make a quick 300 grand. Holy. But whatever, I'll take 770. No, I got to get top 500. Will I trade in Discord? Yeah, I'll trade in Discord. Sure. I'll open up the lounge, and we'll get scalping this bad boy together. Just gonna go enjoy a coffee, have a quick 15-20 minute break, and then we'll get at it. All right. So having said that, hold on. Wanted to ask you to make live every day at USA New York Open. Does it depends how it opening? If it pump like today, when we get further analysis, or it doesn't mean nothing. So I wanted to ask, you make live every day at US New York Open. Does it depend how it's opening? If it pump like, yeah. So there's a couple of things that, yeah. You need to go big. Yeah, I'm going to go big or go home, man. That's what I'm going to do. Best chicken. Okay, so the New York Open, one of the things about the New York Open is everybody loves to watch the New York Open. So that's one of the reasons. And then, yes, what you want to see from the New York Open, hold on, let me get Bitcoin here. Okay, so the New York Open is, we can talk about this later. Oh, he's in there. He's in there, Oddbjorner. He's in our Discord. That's Crypto York. Yeah. Yeah, join our Discord group. Link is in the community. Forgot to say that. He's got the subscription. Don't worry, man. He is Crypto York. VIP. Yeah. So there's a couple of reasons why watching the New York Open is pretty important. All right. This was okay. So if you were trading at this London Open here, all right, this was a great entry here. All right, it takes out the Asia level. All right, comes down, comes back into the Asia level. So you've done your Asia stop hunt, right? So that's the trade of the day so far. Asia stop hunt, New York, baby. London, sorry. Okay, then it does this little consolidation and starts to push up. So the reason the New York is so important is oftentimes you're going to get in a trade way earlier in the day, and you want to see if that is a good decision. All right, so if you start to see that New York is going to start dumping it, right, you got to get out of there, and then you got to start thinking about that 80% setup or a London sweep and then a reversal. All right, so if you see this start to move down, you get out of this trade, take your profit, wait for price to come down, you turn it back around. All right, let's take a peek here. Okay, yesterday, remember when we didn't do it yesterday on YouTube, but we were in the Discord because of my shoddy internet. So again, we've got a Asia low put in. All right, that is so far the only thing that's really happened throughout the day. So it's very possible that if you took a trade down here when New York opens, it's going to come and grab you. But New York opens up and it just starts to pump. So at that point, you can feel real confident about this trade. Right, so that's really the big important part of New York. It's the last big session of the day. Well, it's the last session of the day. And if they decide to go in a direction real quick, this is the kind of stuff that can happen, right? So yesterday, everybody was feeling great when this started to rip to the upside, right? So the New York session is, for the most part, going to be the biggest mover and the most exciting session that there is, all right? Now, sometimes Asia will do it, and very rarely London will do it. But yeah, and it's the only open that people are going to hop on YouTube to watch, right? We could do it for London, we could do it for Asia, but I'm not going to do it for Asia because I'm going to sleep. And at London, nobody's really around. But if you look at the London Open, for the most part, you're going to get good moves as well, all right? So London does the sweep. Okay, over here, what did London do? Nothing. So would have been a relatively boring day, but you see London trying to push up higher. It did take the Asia high, so it doesn't do a stop. All right, see how important that is? There's your Asia high, pushes up, comes back down, pushes up again, comes back down, pushes up again. So you know that the stop hunt is not coming from Asia because it's already been hit 3 times pretty much, right? And then New York finally starts showing you the direction. But once in a while, it will be London that will show you the direction, all right? So on the Sunday, when it really dumped like crazy, New York's not open, but still it kind of shows you some direction. Take a quick peek here. All right, you've got your Asia low set up. London comes down, sweeps your Asia low and starts to go up. All right, so you're feeling pretty good about yourself. And then New York does a little shimmy down, doesn't take the lows, then rips to the upside, hits into yesterday's value, the previous day's value area high and value area node of high volume node, sorry, and then starts to push down. So when it starts to push back down, you know, you've got to get out of there. It gave you the 80% setup, right? And there it goes. Are you trading the London Open? Yeah, I generally, that's generally what I do, is trade the London Open. Yeah. Yeah, especially on the NASDAQ. So I look for a London Open trade every day on the NASDAQ. This year it's starting to kind of come back together again. So okay, for example, this morning I had stuff to do, unfortunately, so I didn't, but I mean, it's so easy. Here's a 100-pointer, just so easy. So London opening range, you push away from it, leaves no fair value gaps, leaves nothing. There's nothing here to trade really. All right, price comes back up, hits into the big three after a big push away from it, starts trading back below it. You've got your signal, boom. What I really love to see on the London is price push away, create a fair value gap that then you can do a fib pull on and the golden pocket is in, right? That's what you hear me talk about all the time about the London Open. And that's really what I go for on the London Open. But today was also quite simple. Quite simple. Didn't quite catch it, but there you go, 75 pointer. 92 from the high, but yeah, 75 points would have been my third take profit, but yeah, didn't hit that. Where I started getting in on the game was right here. That's the trade I took today. And that's it. So yeah, we'll continue this in the Discord shortly. Let me just take a little breather. Yesterday I closed the day at 50,000. I hit one trade today, which was this guy here, grabbed 6K out of it. And now I'll try to scalp like a maniac during this New York session. Oops, too bad. Too bad that I missed all that already. Previous day's high. Oh my goodness, look at that. So anyhow, yep, that's not right. That's 2 days ago. No, it's not. That is today's. But so yeah, we'll continue this, and I will see you guys in the Discord. Be safe, be well, and talk to you soon, man.